Making a vacuum cleaner?
That's the first thing that got recorded. You put your vacuum cleaner. That's the first thing that got recorded. Anyway, okay, so we just finished watching "It Would Rip Your Dick Off" by the Whitest Kids You Know, a comedy group that was really popular in the 2000s, which I still personally enjoy. It's where my brand of humor really comes from. So it's a group of 5 people. They're great. They're great comedians, and they do skit comedy before. I think it was before Dave Chappelle, anyway, and they were fantastic. I would love to show you all of them. Let's do a marathon, binge watch it, and let's just knock it out of the park. It's fun, fantastic. But in "It Will Rip Your Dick Off," the premise is a man is shopping for a vacuum, and as he's measuring his dick size compared to the nozzle of the vacuum, what's it called?
An employee.
Yeah, an employee walks up and says, "It will rip your dick off." What'd you think, Moriah?
The ending was my favorite part when she was like, I don't know if I can cuss on here.
Hey, go for it. It's fun, yes.
Yeah, when she was like, that nasty ass still gonna buy that vacuum cleaner for $1,400, and I was like, this is sad. There's actual guys that do this shit. I know. There has to be.
There has to be, and honestly, if it was
sad.
$100 cheaper, I might get one myself.
I mean, with all that gambling money.
Yeah, with all the gambling, I'm gonna win.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, like, think about this. It's kind of like you pay for the pricier stuff now. You won't have to pay for more expensive stuff later. For example, if you got a $1,400 vacuum, that's it. Until the warranty runs out, that's your baby. That's what take care of you. And then let's face it. If you do date somebody, there's dinner, there's movies, there's gifts. That's a lot more than $1,400 if you look at it that way. You gotta look at the long run, not the short.
Well, when you think about it like that,
so sad.
that's not sad. It's economics. It's economics.
It's math. It's math. It's math. Math can't be sad. It can't be happy. It's just math. It's logic.
This is manomics. Man economics.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It's like horseshoe weight. It's like, how do you figure that out? It's horseshoe math. Horses have 4 legs. Each horseshoe weighs 12 pounds, and that means that they can't run faster than 7 miles an hour because of the heavy shoes. Horse math.
Manonomics.
I'm keeping that pause in there.
It's just...
I actually do agree with that term. That's actually pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, okay, let's go for the average date. It's going to run you up $250. Like, we all know this. You know why? Because, one, you have to account for the fact you spent time with this person. That's an 8-hour shift. You could have made $100 there, so that's already $100 gone. Then you got the movie tickets, and it's like $20 for each of you. Fuck. And then you got to pay for drinks that she's not going to drink. She's going to take a sip of. She's not going to drink it.
You're going to drink that drink.
Yeah, but you're going to have to. It costs you $15 fucking.
At movies, yes.
And then you got the popcorn. She's going to eat all the popcorn, leave none of it for you, and you're going to have to just nibble on fucking kernels.
And here's
the
terrible thing.
All the time.
You got the medium because you didn't want to get the large because it's a $10 extra. But it gets a free refill, but you weren't thinking about that. You were just thinking, let me just get a little bit off, pay the $50 now, and get $10 off. And,
I mean, if we're talking about it, I mean, it's $40 for the tickets, like at least $30 extra, so it's $70 altogether.
You're not wrong.
And then, after all is said and done, you still have to go out for dinner.
Oh. Mariah, how do you feel about this?
I'm shooketh. I don't think I've ever broken down in money. Again, the manonomics is real. I just think that
we're accurate in vacuum cleaners and dinner dates.
I feel a lot of hate in these tones with these prices.
Well, only the Sith deal in absolutes, as we know, and math is exactly that.
I have never dated a woman who didn't finish her drink, but I think it's just the kind of, I'm like, we go out, we drink a dark beer, we're gonna finish that dark beer. We go out to eat, we're gonna eat. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
But I mean, you gotta pick a girl who will finish her drink. That's if anything, any relationship advice. Get yourself a girl
that finishes.
Who can handle her drink. That's it. Period. Whatever they say, I don't know. But just
that is very true. I just did the math. If you avoided 5.5 dates, you would be able to buy $1,400 worth of dick sucking power. I'm just saying.
30 horsepower of raw sucking power. That's what you could have bought. And it always puts out.
The manonomics.
it makes sense. That should be the tagline. Manonomics. It just makes sense.
I honestly, when I was a kid taking my wife out, I don't know how $20 stretched so fucking far. Oh my god.
That nowadays it's expensive.
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't go on dinner dates. That's the thing. I would just see you there, see you later.
Back in the day when your dad would take you.
Yeah. Give me that 20.
You gotta be creative when you're doing dates on a budget. You gotta be creative. That's for me. What I would do is like when I was out there and I was dating, you gotta be creative. You gotta figure out what you're gonna do and like where you want to spend your money in. You know what I mean? Look at those free events that happen. People like looking at people like walking around looking at shit because it's romantical and all that other crap. That's what you gotta do.
You know what I should have done? Been more creative when I was younger. You know how much it cost me to take her out every week? About $20. Here's the thing. I could have made sandwiches at home, brought a blanket from home, went to a park with no snakes anywhere, and that would cost me $0.
The only downside is the homeless taking shits in parks.
I wasn't in California.
You were in Hawaii. Same thing.
No, it's not.
Is it?
You just gotta avoid. You gotta avoid a couple parks here and there. But if you dodge a needle, then you dodge a crackhead. You got a nice place.
I'm just saying you shouldn't go through. You shouldn't have to bring a metal detector to like dodge a hypodermic needle. All right. Imagine this. That's another $500 on your date.
Damn it, you're right.
There you go.
Man, I saved money just going on those movie dates, huh?
Yeah.
The movie dates. God.
If I was really good and I didn't drink any soda or had any drinks, I could get her a pretzel.
Wow.
I was living it.
Hey,
large.
Man, that's sexy. Pretzel's sexy, man. And things tangled up in each other.
Bro, you ever have pretzel bites?
Wow.
You ever have them?
I'm upset. What? Pretzel bites?
What about pretzel bites upsets you?
Hey man, dip it in nacho cheese, salt, pepper, whatever you want.
It's sexy. Why do you think she's my wife now?
Y'all need female friends.
There has to be a quota, yes.
Man.
Bro, I'm Mike Pence up in here. I don't know anyone, and I don't want to. Me and my wife, who takes care of me, we'll go around and hang out. I don't know you. Get away from me.
It makes sense.
The dates. So,
bro, can't have conflict of interest if there's no interest.
So, like, on the dates that you guys have been on, from what you guys remember, are you guys the ones that usually pay for these dates, or do you guys get yourself a girl who she'll pay for the next date, or she'll handle the next, 2 dates or whatever, or split, or...
Well, you want to take this first because you got a longer history than I do. I'll finish in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. I usually last longer. Anyway,
Hey, fuck you. It's a race, okay? Not a marathon. I got shit to do.
Quality. You need quality.
We were talking about, do you usually have somebody, do you date a girl who will pick up the check the next time around, or are the girls that you get with, you buy, like, you do all of the dates and you pay for all the dates?
I would. Well, for me anyway. My circumstances were different. I usually pay for all the dates, pay for the gas, pay for everything, movies, dinner, any events we go to. Not because some of the girls weren't didn't want to do it, but just because some of the girls couldn't financially. I mean, put any money toward it, which is fine for me. I didn't really care. I paid money to spend time with them. I didn't do it just so anything else could happen. I enjoy their company, and that's what I pay for, the luxury of their company.
I was young, a young man in the early 2000s. I didn't know too much, and I really just focused on how young men my age should really act, And $20 was stretched a little thin, but I didn't know I could ask her for money. When I grew up, I realized, hey, she's part of this. She can pay for me too. I was very sexist, and now I'm very equality. She pays for me now, and I think that's better. I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Yes.
I don't apologize.
I will tell the courts that, and I will not apologize. How dare you?
I'm not saying that you should ask her for money. I think what I'm saying.
How dare you?
Hey man,
you never have your hand out to anybody.
Hey man, you're dating a loan shark. I hope you know that.
What kind? I was young. I didn't know any better. I could never. I didn't think that saying, "Hey, can we split this? I have no money," was an available option.
It's conversation before the date. I think there's a language that has to happen.
I don't know.
I was too young.
Uncomfortable.
I was too young. I was trying to be.
You have to be upfront, because if you can't be upfront before you guys are even in a relationship, then the relationship itself is going to be total shit. So,
Mariah, I was 16 trying to figure out what my life
you're
was.
Different. But what I'm saying,
I was suffering head trauma at the time.
What I'm saying is, like, if you have these conversations before your date, like, yeah, like talking about work, like, oh, how's work going? It's been kind of hard, kind of tight lately. Yeah, I've been having a lot of these different like bills coming up, whatever. You sprinkle these things because I'll guarantee you guys that girls pick up the hints a lot faster than you.
Mariah,
faster.
We were in high school together. What was I gonna say? How was math? What kind of bills are you getting? No. Okay.
Like I said, you're a special circumstance, but in high school, it's high school. I mean, you were in Hawaii, for fuck's sake. There's water places. Go and sit by the water.
Bruh, I had to.
Done.
I lived in the city.
Wait.
We had to drive.
What?
I didn't have a car, Mariah. I was 16, 17. I didn't know any better. I barely know it better now.
What?
It's only very recently where I'm just like, she can get the bill on this. This Cracker Barrel bill. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, they do it like a really smooth slide, like, thanks, babe.
Yeah,
Slide.
I don't even do that. I get the lock in the car. Hey, you got this? Because I have no money. It gave her no choice. We've spent the gas already.
It's over now.
You're done. You're locked in.
That's pretty funny. I don't know. I for me, I always had I don't know. I was kind of raised in that weird era where it's like you're the man, you pay for everything, you take care of everything, you make sure your door's open, you don't do anything stupid. Don't
when
don't
you are out
stupid
with
things.
her, you are the only person who can be responsible for her. Not that she can't be responsible for herself, but you got to protect her from other creeps and weirdos, just like you.
Which was the ironic part. You were the creeping weirdo, but you had to protect her from all the other creeping weirdos.
Yeah, hey, here's the thing. The creeps and weirdos, you already know. They're not in bushes. They're yourself, that person right there, and me.
And I don't know. I guess we could just call that man logic. It's just where guys are like, no.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
I'm definitely hearing I'm hearing the man logic. I'm hearing man economics here.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, there's one thing. Like, it's one thing when you're like, I'm gonna open the door for her or whatever, because like,
that's manners.
You want your, I mean, I think that when you go on a date with somebody, at least for myself, like, I've always taken the lead in my relationships,
Yeah.
But I'm also like on more of the masculine side, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, I always want to make sure that when I do my dates with my girl, that she wants to feel like she's the only girl. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And you have to make them feel like they're the only one there. When I'm with you, it is just you. You know what I mean? But I took my partner to Hoppy Monk, our first date.
What the fuck is Hoppy Monk?
What is Hoppy Monk?
Oh my gosh, it's a really nice place. So they have like over 60 beer options, really good food.
Oh.
You can dress up or down, pretty reasonably priced food.
Hey, Moriah?
Uh-huh.
Why don't you talk about your high school relationships? Because this sounds like you have money now.
High school relationships were hella similar.
That's what I'm talking about, and it's not similar.
But high school relationships were like, look, I got this. I got 2 Route 44 Sonic cups.
What the fuck is that?
Route 44 drinks, Sonic drinks.
I'm from Hawaii.
There is no Sonic.
There's no
Okay,
Sonic.
do you have like a big gulp? Do you have
No.
You don't have a gas station?
Yes, we do.
Okay, do you have big sodas that they sell at the gas
Not
station?
really.
Shut up.
No, go to Hawaii.
Okay, I can't.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was looking at prices recently. $523 for 5 days.
Oh wow, that's very cheap.
That is very cheap.
Man, when I was there and Jess was here, I was spending $1,500, $1,800 a ticket.
Damn. Well, look. Okay, how about ice cream? You guys got ice cream there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's Hawaii, not a fucking.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
making
not.
sure.
It's not
You guys-
Afghanistan.
You guys all have a fucking big gulp, so like, I don't know what the hell y'all have there. But I'm thinking like, okay, so 2 pints of ice cream. Okay, cool. It's like, hey, I got some ice cream. Let's go chill. That's it.
That's ironic that you
Ice
chose
cream.
something that will melt and said, "Let's go chill. We have to eat this now. I bought this 20 minutes
Yes.
ago. We gotta drink it now."
It's halfway soup.
Like, have some ice cream, have some games. That's it. When I'm like on a low budget, I went to IHOP, got coffee for both of us, and we played board games.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
You could play you could play board games at IHOP.
Yeah,
They would let you.
Absolutely. As long as you buy something, then you can chill there. Like I go to IHOP, I would just get a big thing of coffee for 2 of us. That's like what, $4 or $5.
Bro, that's a
$6.
cool fucking date.
And then just
See-
have games. Get creative, gentlemen.
Bro, see, creativity only happens with I feel like women, because the guy is not that smart. He just thinks like, hey, I'll pay for the food, I'll pay for the gas, I'll pay for the movies. Let's go home, and if whatever you decide to do after that is your choice, and you get naked, It's like
No, what? No, like
that's how it goes,
like,
right?
when I was in high school, I was like, let's walk around downtown. Like, there's nice lights or whatever else. Or like, hey, there's a free event going. Would you like to go with me? Like, do shit like that.
I would not walk around downtown at night, just for the simple fact. I did that one time. Me and my girl and a group of our coworkers went to Scarlet, which was a, for lack of a better word, is more of a transgendered bar / gay bar, which was fun. It was totally fine. I mean, the music was loud. We saw a lot of stuff. It was pretty fun, actually. A lot of jokes. It was pretty cool. What was not cool was that my girl had gotten drunk, and so we're walking in the middle of Chinatown, and she's stumbling all over the place, and I'm like, hey, honey, let me prop you up and like hold you close to me, because I don't want you to stumble into the homeless guy that's standing right there
Next to the Yakuza gang member.
Yeah.
Who has no hesitation in killing me.
We're walking back to my car, and I was telling her, hey, let's be careful, let's be safe, you're kind of drunk, and there's a fuckload of people around me that are all homeless and deranged in some sort of manner. And the whole time she's like, don't worry, I've already done this before. I'm like, you kind of want to keep it down. You're not Ronda Rousey, okay? You are a 4'11", 90-pound soaking wet woman. You cannot fight them off. Like, I'm the one guy. There's 50 of them. But then what got even crazier was that one of the guys approached one of our coworkers and was propositioning her. He thought she was a prostitute, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm not one of those girls." And he's like, "Oh, you're not like $50." And I'm like, "You think this is safe?" I said it to my girl. I'm like, "She just got propositioned for sex," and she's like, "It's fine. I already walked down here in Chinatown. It's totally cool." I'm like, "I don't think you understand the danger we're in."
That comes down to like people that see stuff and who don't see things.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I got brought up and raised being like very hyper alert to like my surroundings and such. Always, all the time, be ready. But then again, I grew up in a family where they're like, hey, be cautious, you never know, you can get kidnapped. There's somebody out there behind a corner. There's a rapist in the bushes. You never know. And I'm like, wow, the world's the enemy, and they're gonna swallow me whole. Like I gotta be vigilant.
The world hasn't changed.
But I mean, in my past relationships, the girls I dated were like very oblivious to the world. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's weird, right?
They're like, what do you mean? What guy? I'm like, there's a guy right next to you and he's shooting up, man. Stand on the inside of me. That's all I'm saying. It's like, stand on the inside.
She looks
of
to
the
her
wall.
left.
Yeah. Just,
What are you talking about? She's taking his medicine. It's totally fine.
It's insulin. Like
It goes in the hip.
I'm really fortunate.
Insulin goes in the hip.
I'm fortunate to have like my partner where like was aware of some things but not everything, so that when we got together, I was just like, hey, you see this over here, this is sus. Hey, you see this over here, that's a prostitute. Hey, you see that over there, that's a and then she's like, oh, okay, cool, and she picks up on it good, but it all goes down to like how you mesh with your person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think for any relationship, communication is king. There's a lot of misunderstandings that can happen. There's a lot of things that might be unsaid that must be said. If anything, all you gotta do is really communicate with your partner, and you can clear up fights that before they even happen or like shortly after they begin.
Yeah, I still run into those pitfalls, even married. Marriage is not like a cure-all to any problems you have. But another dimension of that is truth. You have to be truthful to yourself and to her as well. A lot of the issues I have are things that I think are okay, but truthfully, they're really not. Like, oh, hey, like the other day, I was like, oh, well, she just hears me go, and I'm just like, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, nothing, my anxiety's acting up, and, honestly, it wasn't that, it was just other reason, and she's just like, well, okay, and then I realized, you gotta be truthful with her, because otherwise she just thinks that she doesn't know if you're annoyed with her, you're annoyed with someone else, and so I told her, I was like, hey, this is this, and then she's like, oh, that's not okay, and I was like, okay, now I have an anxiety about this, like, what's not okay about me feeling not okay about that? And so, it was just weird, but truthfully, if we didn't have this conversation, it would just build up into something else, probably later on that night, probably not at all, but, you never take that risk, because you gotta live with that person the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Mountain's made out of molehill, man. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, it depends on which part you're standing on. On top of the mound, you don't think it's that big. At the bottom of the mound, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a thing with my partner, and I tell her, like, we have a 3-day period. That's basically what it is. Like, so it's 3 days where you can bring up whatever the issue is. Because the way I figure is that the day it happens, you're trying to, like, sort it out. Like, is this a me problem or a real problem? And then 2, it's just like, is this something that is a one-time thing, like a fluke? Or is this something that she's done more than once? And if so, should I bring it up? And then the 3rd day is to kind of put your words together and then say what you got to say. Because, for some people, depending on how big the issue is, it takes time to process. And so I tell her, after 3 days, if you haven't brought it up, it's expired. I don't remember. You don't remember. It's clean. The security tapes have been wiped for the next for the next batch of days.
Like an Etch-a-Sketch never happened.
It never happened. Well, because I tell her, like, I just don't want it to be like 7 days down the road, 2 months down the road, and then you're like, remember that one time when you did? I'm like, no, I don't, and I will not apologize for whatever it is that I did 2 months ago because I don't remember. So my apology won't be genuine.
True. I have the same policy, but with food. It was in the food for 3 days. It's mine, man. I can't. I'm not. It's gone. It was never there. Erase it from your mind because it's in my belly.
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
That happened. That happens with my sister-in-law. Like, she'll be like, "Okay, I'll eat this later." Dude, I'm counting down the days, and that 3rd day, it is 10, 9. Fuck it, she's not coming home. Open it up. It came to a head one day. I'm fucking eating this Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. Come on, bro. 3 days now. 3 days. It is cheesecake. You probably shouldn't eat it 3 days later. Point is, I'm just like, she comes in and spoon to the lip, just tonguing it, and she's just like, "Is that my cheesecake?" And I said, "Yeah." It is. I didn't think you'd be home, but it's been 3 days. And she's like, "That's not a thing." It is today, and it's been the policy ever since. 3 days in the fridge. If not, it's out or it's in me.
Out or consumed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That makes sense. That makes sense right there.
And that's enough time.
Yeah,
72 hours is enough time.
Yeah, when I was with our roommate, he would do that too. He was just like, "Look, I'm leaving this shit in the refrigerator. I know it's yours. After the 3rd day, it's not your property anymore. It's mine."
It's communal property
He's
now.
like, "It's mine now," and I'm like, "All right." Literally, 3rd day, I woke up in the morning. I came downstairs and I heard his door open. I'm like, "Shit!" I ran downstairs and ate my food, and I was just like, "No, he's serious.
Yeah.
3 days is 3 days," and he was ready. He was coming for my Chinese food.
He had it marked on the calendar. He's like, "It's not even good anymore, but I want it."
Yeah.
He got the headband on, put his war paint
The
on.
rising sun headband. Just
Yeah.
But that, the 3 days in the refrigerator is the same thing like I do with my 3 days of like communication.
because it's not good no
that-
more.
Yeah, after that's over, I'm like, I can't say sorry for something I don't mean.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it because I don't remember. And I'm like, that's it. That's
Look,
it.
hard drive is full of D&D, Dread.
I swear, anytime she tells me...
Whitest kids you know say will rip your dick off. And that's it.
$1,400 vacuums. That's what's in my head.
I turn it off at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, dude. Shop's closed. If it happened after 6 p.m., I can't be held responsible.
Yep. She'll be like, hey, can you remember this for me? Because I'll forget. Because, you know, sometimes she'll forget stuff because she has a lot of stuff going on. And she's like, hey, remember this? I'm like, okay, I'm going to delete one of the files. And she's like, no, what did you delete? I'm like, I don't know. It's gone. And now whatever you said is in my folder in the drive.
Yeah. There's no trash bin to recycle out of. It's gone now.
Who knows what
I forgot how to do math now. I don't know.
We're only human. We're only human.
What is a parabola? I know just random fact that you just lose.
Bro.
It's a cherished childhood memory. It's gone now because you want to remember that you needed to grade Susie's paperwork.
Yep, it's over.
It's there now.
That's all there is until it gets deleted by something else.
Yep.
You know that movie Inside Out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Well,
It's
the premise is that your memories are actually stored in these memory balls, and there's things called core memories. For me, they're not exclusive. So it's just like, oh, this thing that defines you as a person. Oh, what is that? Wise kids, you know, rip your dick off. So that's it there. That's it now. That's my go-to. That's it. Rip your dick off land. Vacuums and man math.
Hey man, it just makes sense. It just does, man.
It does.
Just think about it for a while, and you're gonna start making sense. You're like, oh my god, I never thought about it this way. It makes sense.
Hold on, you're saying if I don't eat lunch, I have money for gas.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you gotta do. Part of man math is you gotta factor in for the variable called willpower.
You have to
sacrifice.
Subtraction is a real thing in man math. You have to gain something. You have to get rid of something.
Yeah.
The laws of equivalent exchange. Yeah. We're just doing Full Metal Alchemist here.
I really appreciate you guys, letting me pierce through the veil and have a glimpse of the man economics, the man math.
Hey man,
bro, this is how we got our life. You guys don't know anything because you don't know man math.
Thank you.
Because when we think, oh, I can gain from that, you think, what do I lose from that too? And that's how man math works. It's a scale. Doesn't weigh right.
There's pros and cons to everything. Okay, so the pros outweigh the cons. It must be good.
Yeah. No matter the consequences.
I thought this is why we live longer.
Yeah.
It's this shit right here.
Probably.
Bro, I was snorting drywall dust the other day. Fuck you and you're living longer. You think I want?
That makes sense, because I've also snorted drywall dust working for you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It doesn't get you high, it just shortens it by a day.
You're right. It does. Every hour is a day gone. But do you really want that day at the tail end of your life? You're like,
I hope it's one of the shitty ones.
You know? I hope it's a bad.
I need a gift receipt for some of my fucking days. I'll tell you that. God damn.
And that's man math. And it just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It's so dumb. It's like, why can't I have a purse? You know, I want a purse as a man. I want to carry shit.
You can, if you want to.
My wife won't let me.
I carry a fanny pack. I love the fanny pack.
Yeah.
I want one.
So you can do a fanny pack. They got the MERS now. Why don't you go get a backpack? Why don't you just walk around with a backpack?
Because I look like a fucking school shooter. Look how young I am.
You do have a really young face.
I do.
They're gonna be like, sir, you gotta get back on the bus. It was like, no, I'm an adult. Get back, kid. Back on the bus.
I'm going to a gun store.
Like, no shit, man. Okay, so I was working with a coworker. I took off my face mask to get a drink of water, and she laughed, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "No, I just forget how young you look behind the mask." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it makes sense." She's like, "You look like an 18-year-old." I'm like, "Say what you really feel." 16. I'm like, "Yeah, I look like a 16-year-old."
I could go to school right now. I go across the street. I'm in high school now.
So, random question. Do y'all get facial hair? Do you guys get beards?
I do, but I shave it because it looks terrible.
It looks terrible. I don't know.
Does it really?
Yeah, dude. He didn't shave for like weeks because he's wearing the mask. And he's like, I don't need to shave. Bro, you look gross. You need help.
Like long whiskers like right here. I'm just like, and it looks bad. It doesn't come in full. It doesn't come in full like oh, this is a badass goatee.
Like it comes in patches, or is it like a
Yeah, kind of.
So that's why we look young, because we shave, because we need to. My wife's like, you shave? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, when? When I wake up? Any day I don't feel right? I don't know. I mean, like, whenever anything happens on my face, I shave it off.
Whenever I feel the mask tugging at any whiskers I have on the bottom of the chin, that's when I shave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's why we look so young, and also we're Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all look like so fucking young. Like y'all got drowned in the fountain of youth for fucking sure.
Yeah. Wait until when I hit 50, I'll age like 30 years. That's my thing.
Is that the deal you made with the devil? Or just like keep me young until this age and then
Bro,
it hit me hard?
Well, do you want to look good at 50? Fuck no.
The devil said it wasn't fair that I had to look this way my entire life, so I said, okay, 50's fine. What are you gonna give me? He's like, oh, you. I was like, all right.
I've not changed since I was 14 years old. I look exactly the same.
I mean, you're skinnier.
Wow.
Well, no, I was skinnier back then.
No,
too.
you're skinnier now.
Why? No, I was.
No, you're a fat kid.
Back when I was 14.
Yeah, you're fat.
I was in freshman year. I was running. We were in the best shape of our life. We did football.
Yeah, that's where all the brain damage came from. I'm sorry, I'm misremembering.
Yeah.
You're fat now.
I am fat now. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to correct you.
Yeah.
Because that's also part of man logic. You have to make fucking facts. All right.
Talking shit's just part of it.
I feel like man logic is talking shit and then like staring in the eyes when you're talking shit.
Yeah.
And sprinkle some truth and then you're like, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right there.
I feel
Formula.
like the kangaroos when they like smack their nuts, and I feel like that's basically what it is.
Bro,
like,
you are right about
you're
that.
just like,
It's a challenge. You have to insist on your facts to their face and look at them in the eye and bullshit your way through this.
You can't do 39 push-ups.
I proved that I already did.
That's a fucking lie.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
I saw
In fact, you know, you're right. I did 50. You son of a bitch.
God damn it. I bet it. I lost it. So there you go. Man logic.
Yeah.
I feel like man logic is basically guys like gaslighting each other.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes.
It's just basically like a guy having a fact and
Bro.
then just pressing his fact on the other person, and
When
he's
I-
just like, "This is truth," and you're like, "Well, I guess it is. He said it, and he yelled it, so
Yeah.
it must be true."
When I was younger, he thought I was gaslighting him all the time.
Yeah.
The problem was I had brain trauma and I couldn't remember shit. And so he would be like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "No, why did you do that very illogical thing?" I don't remember what I did. What'd I do? And he's like, "Don't fuck with me. I'm not fucking with you. I didn't do shit. You know I didn't do shit." And he's just like, "What are you talking about?" But because I had brain trauma, I couldn't remember 5 seconds ago.
To put it in perspective, it's kind of like, you know, when you drive for like a long time and then you wake up and you like lost 10 minutes. Like, what happened in the last 10 minutes?
But you're now downtown.
Yeah, but you're not
snorting
downtown.
coke.
Yeah, and you're totally fine. But it's like, that is what would happen to Michael. Whenever he did something stupid, it's like he didn't realize he did it, and then when I brought him back to reality, he's like, "What? I lost that time."
Events happen and they go and I forget them. My hard drive is so full of rules from board games that no one plays with me, and D&D and Dread and anime and a whole bunch of other shit. I don't know where the math and literacy come from. I'm surprised I can still do that.
I was hit so hard in the head, I forgot how to sneeze for a whole year.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
So what the fuck did you do?
I sounded like Pikachu for a whole year. I would look high pitched like choo, and like everybody was like, "Dude, what the fuck's wrong with you?" Like, I don't know how to sneeze. And like, how do you forget how to sneeze? It's instinct. It's been knocked it's like the light of God smashed my brain in and took that specific piece of knowledge out of my head.
God said you don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
I have an issue now too, where when I sleep or when I'm about to sleep, you know, I'm cold. I put the blanket over my head, and I yawned once. And I don't know why that's fucking funny. Funny stuff hasn't happened yet. Anyway, I yawned.
I'm just thinking the worst. Like, I
blanket-
yawned and then I pissed myself
Yeah.
or some dumb shit like that.
I yawned, and the blanket got sucked into my mouth, and it fucked up my cycle. So then I was like, wait, how do I yawn? How do I yawn? Nothing's happening. Where's my yawn? And I couldn't sleep until I finally yawned at least once, and I was just like, yawn. How do I yawn? Sorry.
That is so... What?
It happens. It still happens today. I pray to God I never suck in a blanket or material.
It's become a fear, a phobia.
Or it's like...
So
if something stops my yawn, I pray to God that I can still yawn afterwards. Because I'm just like, this is going to be a long hour before we can learn how to yawn again.
Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
what?
It happens. That's kind of what happened to my sneezes. I interrupted a sneeze one time, and then I forgot how to do it for a year.
What is does your wife say about this new phobia about you sucking in fabric into?
I haven't told her.
Well, that's the funny thing is that I just thought I was gonna stop with like, oh, I yawned and I had the blanket over my face, so I just breathed it in. I've done that. I had like fabric go into my mouth, like, oh, but I didn't never forgot how to yawn though. I never forgot how to yawn, and I'm just like, dude, you took it one step further than what I thought it would be. 10 times funnier.
Yeah, so I know how to yawn. Yeah, and I relearned the skill. You have to relearn it. If you lose it, you have to relearn it.
Yeah,
it's like babies. You hit a milestone. You turn all over.
That's my life. That's how I live it, one night at a time.
I've never had something traumatic like that happen to me. However, I did have